John Susan Pentop was in bed, just getting ready for sleep. It had been a tiring night, consisting of sitting in his favourite chair, slowly sipping at his half-defrosted pint of chicken fat, and occasionally welling up into tears when the futility of his life seemed all-encompassing. He overcame these negative thoughts by dancing in a manner that can only be described as extremely gingerly around his drawing-room, which he kept near his car keys. He thought about his friends, many of whom he'd never met. There was Gary Steve, Peter Harry, Lionel Frank, Peter, Steve Gary, Gary Peter Gary, and his closest and most cherished friend, Gary. John spent a few moments thinking about the fact that all of his friends had names consisting entirely of first names. They should have proper names, he thought, like John Susan Pentop. He believed his name was Dutch, but it wasn't. John believed a great many things, one of which was that if he didn't glance at his bedroom door every few seconds, he would birth a dolphin with its teeth knocked out. This, of course, was not true. He was snuggled up in bed with his teddy bear, Peter, and his pipe, also called John Susan Pentop, and so, bidding his teddy good night, he had a bit of a kip. "Good night, Peter."
That was brilliant.
That was really good, that was.
Why don't you go see it again?
Yeah, I'll check it on again, awesome, that was.
Yeah. And don't forget to buy your t-shirt.
Yeah. What do you think about that film?
It was brilliant.
It was brilliant, that was.
No.
Brilliant, that was.
How did you land the role of Mr. Pentop?
I really had to try for this role. There was a lot of other actors that were more established than myself who wanted the part. I know that Mel Gibson wanted it, and Keanu Reeves as well, and Sam Elliott, who is an idol of mine. But I met the director in the 70s. We worked together on a film called Is That Your Carpet? I'd quite like to borrow it sometime, which it had a lot of promise, but unfortunately just it didn't really do much in the world of blockbusters. Then I was in a film called I Think I Really Should Buy a Bowl to Put My Keys In Because I Keep Losing Them When I Come In From Work. That had a little bit of critical reaction, especially in places like Tonopandi, Aberfindog, and Mathdilia Gwyliau. We had a big hit there with that one, almost as big as the sequel, Someone's Had My Keys, which it took. That was 2 years. The film was 2.5 days long, so it wasn't for the light-hearted, everyday cinema goer. We didn't win any awards for that, but I've forgotten the original question. Sorry, I smoke a lot of crack, so I tend to trail off.
Hi, we're here with the director of the varied and often emotional mental journeys of Mr. Pentop. Thank you for joining us. Just the first question, are you happy with the film?
I mean, yeah, it's a great film. I mean, just the 1 minute and 15 seconds we got so far is just the best 1 minute and 15 seconds I've ever seen in film. It just couldn't be better. I mean, the actor is just brilliant. I mean, really, it's the best performance I've ever seen. I mean, I've never seen someone act so perfectly just sitting in a bed, and that's all he's done so far, and it's just breathtaking. 20 seconds, I nearly died because I was actually holding my breath. I mean, just the nuances and the nouveau vague and all these other movements that just... Oh, it's just brilliant.
Did a little bit of pee come out?
I mean, it did. I mean, the amount of times I had to change my trousers was just staggering.
Were there any challenges of playing Mr. Pentop?
I think there's always a danger of getting too involved in the character. Really, I mean, I'm a method actor, as you can probably tell, and, I mean, sometimes when we were filming throughout the days, I could feel myself really getting sucked in, and I thought that I wouldn't come out. I mean, I don't mind getting sucked off, but when I get sucked into things, that's dangerous sometimes. And I remember this one time, I was in a film, and I played the part of a wonderfully varnished antique wardrobe, and I got so sucked into it that for 4 months I was literally in a small shop in Wootton Bassett, just in the window on displays of wardrobe, and I mean that took a lot of time to get over. In fact, I only got over it in my next film, where I spent a lot of time playing a handicapped parking space. in Burton-on-Trent.
What's your favourite scene in the film?
That's a very good question. I mean, at the moment, we've only filmed one scene, so I really have to go with that one. But for 1 minute and 15 seconds, it's just breathtaking. I mean, it'll change your life. I mean, your views of just on life will just change completely because it's just a brilliant scene. I mean, when I first wrote it, I didn't know how much impact it would create. I mean, just, it's like the Titanic sinking, or, you know, when the alien bursts out in Alien, it's just that breathtaking. You just don't see it coming.
Would you say it rivals scenes such as at the end of Howling 7 when you see the werewolf for the first time?
I mean, yeah, it just does. I mean, when you see that werewolf after an hour and a half of utter shit, and when you put up with it just to see that final scene, just for how great it is, I mean, it's just brilliant. The only way our scene could be any better was if we got Jimmy Nail, but he was busy with Howling 8, so we couldn't get him.
How did you approach the part?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was like this.
I mean, my biggest influence was the director of I'm the Ripper. I mean, he took an hour and a half film and made it feel like 6 hours with just how brilliant it was. I mean, how it just shifted from the horror to basically the Matrix and just like that was just unbelievable. I mean, that's what I want to do with our film. I want it to be like he's lying in bed and then he's outside playing on the swings and no. I mean, just the brilliant performances in it. I mean, if I had to pick another director, it would be the director of The Gingerbread Man, because I mean, taking the first one and then making a sequel, you just didn't expect it. I mean, they even did it without Gary Busey, and I thought, you lose Gary Busey, this film's going to go. But it didn't. And I mean, Passion of the Crust, what a brilliant title. I mean, I've come up with some brilliant titles, like, Is That Your Carpet? And I'd Like to Borrow It. And the prequel that was sadly never made, Is That Your Rug? Can I Have It for My Living Room? But it just couldn't get the budget. But all those directors inspired me to make this masterpiece. And I mean, it's a bit arrogant calling it a masterpiece, but with shit films out now that just, you know, just typical cliched films, I mean, you'll watch ours and at the end of it you will think, what the hell just happened? But it's, what the hell just happened, that's brilliant.
Do you think it will be up for any awards?
Oh, I mean, I think, I mean, I'm trying to be modest here, but I think I should win an Oscar. Definitely an Oscar for probably Best Director, even though, I mean, I did help out a bit. I did help out a bit directing, so it'd be cool if I won the award for Best Director, but I'll probably just win something small, like, you know, Best Feat or something. I mean, I'm not really, it's not about the awards to me, it's all about the money more than anything, lots of money, so I can spend a lot of time buying chocolate and then throwing it away because I don't like chocolate, but I like to know that I could buy expensive chocolate if I did like it, if that makes sense. But like I said, it's just not about the awards. I don't do it for that. I do it so I can get sacked off by girls behind skips.
What was it like working with the star of this film?
I mean, at first you'd think it's hard because there's only one star. And I mean, I was getting him up at 9 AM, and I mean, no one wants to be up at 9 AM. I mean, he used to say, can I have till 10? And I said, well, if we work from 9 till 20 to 10, you can have breakfast, have a nap, go to bed, come back, and we'll be fresh. I mean, without the actor, I mean, it would just be a pipe and a teddy bear in a bed. And I mean, that would convey a lot to a lot of people. Like, does that teddy bear smoke the pipe? Does the pipe dance with the teddy bear secretly? I mean, it could be anything to a lot of people, but I mean, the actor then puts it all together because you know that's his teddy bear and that's his pipe. I mean, most people would ask, why is he smoking a pipe in bed? I mean, that's a fire hazard from the start. But I felt that the actor could convey what I wanted to show. But he's a bit reckless. He doesn't mind smoking that pipe in bed. I mean, the pipe is almost like his child. I mean, he's named it after his own name because he feels so strongly about that pipe. If we've only got 1 minute and 15 seconds, if I put that in cinema, it would just sell out. I mean, it would just be, every cinema would be filled for that 1 minute and 15 seconds. I mean, realistically as well, we'd make more money because we could show it more times a day because it's only 1 minute and 15 seconds. I mean, Titanic's going on for 3 hours, it's just losing money. I mean, if it was only 2 hours and a half, they'd have an extra half an hour to shoot. And they'd have an extra half an hour between films. Or they could pack it all in tightly and just show it back to back. And I mean, if we just have 1 minute and 15 seconds, I mean, our profit's going to what? Multiply by what, 10 or 20 a day? I mean, obviously they're going to have to take breaks between showings because, I mean, the guy who rolls the film will just be, he'll just be mind blown by the time of it. They'll probably just have to replace him every time because you can't watch that film more than once because you'll just be so heartbroken and your life will have changed so much. You'll just run out and enjoy life just there and then. And that's because of the actor and the great director.
The other director.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a great director. I mean, you know, with, you know, The Postman, you know, doesn't come on Sunday. I mean, that was one man's journey searching through his post that just wasn't going to come because it's a Sunday and the post doesn't come on a Sunday. But he didn't know that. He believed it could come. And then when it didn't, and he had to wait till Monday, I mean, that was just a critique of the post office right there.
What was it like working with the director?
He's a hard-working man, you know. I mean, some days he was waking up at 9 a.m. and then, you know, we were working till like 20 to 10, and then we'd have breakfast, and then I'd have a nap, and then we'd get up again, and sometimes we work, you know, like straight through till like 11:30 in the morning, and then we'd have the day off and we'd go out and get drunk. But it took a lot out of me, and I don't know if I could do it again. There was talk of a sequel, The Emotional Journeys of Mr. Pentop 2, which I mean, that was just like a working title. It might be something else, but I think we could work again together if you could just shorten the working schedule to like maybe like an hour a week or something. That would be cool.
Well, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah. Do you feel sick?